a second over Brandon. That S4 guy off turn 4 for the final time sees the checkered flag. It waves. It belongs to the 315.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Checkered flag. Contact and Brian Rose wins it. A photo finish at the line. Oh, we got a wreck. Will Hewitt's through the trial for the final time, and oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short... The Lady in Black, the track that's too tough to tame. Those are two of the names that drivers and fans have given Darlington Raceway over the years. The oldest speedway on the NASCAR circuit, Darlington Raceway's egg-shaped configuration has been perplexing race drivers and mechanics since it opened in 1950 with the inaugural running of the Southern 500. The track was built on an old farm in the middle of rural South Carolina, and its unique shape is the legacy of a minnow pond that the farmer who owned the land wasn't willing to give up. Minnows still swim in that pond 7 decades later, and while lap speeds have risen to nearly 180 miles an hour, a car set up just right for one end of the 1.36-mile oval still won't handle on the other. The fastest lap times are achieved with a compromise. The car isn't perfect at either end of the track, but a talented driver can coax the car quickly enough through both sets of corners. When it comes to the true legends of Darlington, however, 2 drivers stand apart from the rest. Dale Earnhardt Sr. won here 9 times. You never forget your first love, Earnhardt was quoted as saying. Whether it's a high school sweetheart, a faithful old hunting dog, or a fickle racetrack in South Carolina with a contrary disposition, And if you happen to be a race car driver, there is no victory so sweet, so memorable as whipping Darlington Raceway. The most successful driver of all time, and what perhaps the most difficult track on the circuit, is David Pearson, the 60s and 70s ace known as the Silver Fox for his smooth style behind the wheel. 10 times at Darlington, Pearson outfoxed the other drivers and the track itself. If he'd won any more, they'd have to turn over the deed of the track to him. Tonight, it's the No Bull Racing Series regular season finale. It's next on HBR TV. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to virtual Darlington Raceway, the South Carolina 150 No Bull Racing Series regular season finale. 110 laps, air temperature 78 degrees, a little muggy tonight, 88% humidity, track temperature 82 degrees. Practice just wrapping up, couple of minutes remain. We'll jump right into the qualifying session here in just a moment. Go trackside and catch up on practice, see what the top times are thus far. Fastest, of course, Kevin McCann. So it's McCann, Quick, Millett, McCann, Rose, the top five. Just about 30 seconds, not even left in the practice session. No Eric Dotson tonight. Big storms through his area last night. Power still out in much of that area. I told him to jump in if he happens to get the power back, but we shall see. If not, we'll get her done tonight. Of course, Brian McCann drives the 3. Why not? Have a GM Goodwrench Service Plus Chevrolet out on track here for throwback night at Darlington. Some connection issues it looked like for a moment with Brian McCann as the clock strikes 0 on the session. Take a moment here to look at our points coming into tonight. Again, it is the regular season finale. Brian McCann, top of the board. Then it's Brian Rose, Zach Millett, Neil Quick, Brandon Mefford, your top 5. Chris Goins, Channing Ballou, Chris Mefford, Kaysen Plott, Doug Wysocki. Points will be shaken up significantly here after tonight. Kevin McCann on track. Takes the green flag on lap number 1. Kevin McCann rocking a real old school paint scheme. Off turn 4, Kevin McCann, fastest in practice. 29:46 for lap 1. That's a good time. Joe Tucker takes the green flag. .29.893, 7th quick for Joe Tucker the first time around. Top 2 right now, McCann, Paris. Then it's McCann in 3rd, Ryan Rose, Mark Thomas, P5. Carson Conway on the track, currently 10th, now 11th. Neil Quick goes top of the board. 29.897, second lap for Conway as he slips to the 11th position. Zach Millett finishes up his laps. 29.49 puts him P4. Chris Mefford, the number 46 machine. I think he's just getting some heat into the tires here before he starts. He's throwing that first lap away. So a 33.003, again, definitely a waste lap from Mefford, trying to get some air pressure into the tires. He's really going to push here on the second lap. Let's see what he ends up with. Across the stripe, where does he land? P4, 29.465. Chris Mefford jumps into that top five. Mark Truxell on track. The old Mark Martin throwback. Brian Rose is in here with another Mark Martin scheme, going back to the old Busch Series, the Winn-Dixie colors. This is the old Hendrick paint scheme for Mark Martin. Lap 2 for Truxell. 8th quick, 29.67. Good lap for the 5. Chris Elliott, 14th quick the first time around. You can clearly see this is a Kevin Harvick throwback. Even got the number to match. I like when they make that happen. .27, 14th quick for Chris Elliott. Matt Goodell on track. Sporting the old school, not the old school, the every week paint. It's all right. It's a good looking one. Unfortunately, Mike Fahey not going to make it tonight. He's stuck at work. Says, I want to see the 26 car. I don't see a 26 car in the field. Goodell, 29.94 for his first lap. He's out of turn 4. Lap 2, 29.92. A little quicker, drops to P16 though. Chris Goins in the 28 truck, sporting the Haviland Texaco colors. Call it a Davey Allison throwback, Ernie Irvin throwback, Ricky Rudd throwback, however you want to slice it. Plenty of those influences there. .29.671 for Chris Goins puts him into the top 5. Alfie Sharon on track. Dr. Pepper Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. I think this is a Landon Castle throwback, if Landon Castle can even have a throwback. 30.28 for Sharon the first lap. Lap 2 seems to be the faster for everybody. Lap 2, 29.622 for Alfie. 8th quick. Late but quick run for the 51 truck. 10-minute session, 3 minutes remain. Still have a handful of drivers left to make the time if they opt to do so. Brian Torsha, Doug Wysocki, Eric Beadle, Eddie Rose, Matt Kopp. Everybody else has gotten some laps in. With that, we're going to jump out here, get a break out of the way before we get to our starting grid. We got a few minutes, so stay with us. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Darlington, South Carolina, the starting grid for the South Carolina 150 on the pole with a lap time at 29.399 seconds. It's the 2 of Neil Quick. Outside front row from the IROC Series, it's the 42 of Kevin McCann. Starting in the second row, the 3 of Brian McCann. Then it's the 46 of Chris Mefford. Zach Millett's going to roll from the 5th position. Brian Rose, P6. Jeremy Paris, the number 24, will start from the 7th starting position. 8th goes to Alfie Charon, the number 51 Prestige Worldwide. Tonight, he's going to be Dr. Pepper Racing. 9th is Chris Gones of Right Turn Racing. Look for the Haviland Texaco colors. Mark Truxell with HLC Motorsports will roll from the 10th position. 11th, Mark Thomas in the 50. 12th goes to Joe Tucker. 13th starter is going to be the 05 of Noah Rainwater. Look for the Napa machine for him. Brandon Mefford, the 14th starter. Jesse Redding will start 15th. Carson Conway, 16th. 17th goes to Matt Goodell. Chris Elliott will start from the 18th spot. 19th goes to Drew Prowl. Ryan Torsha, number 81, starts 20th. Doug Wysocki, 21st. 22nd, Matt Kopp. 23rd goes to Eddie Rose. And last but not least, it's going to be Eric Beadle in the 119 Sunoco Ultra 94 machine. So your starting grid here from Darlington Raceway, going green the next time by. Field formed up pretty good here. A few stragglers out at the back. Got to get things tightened up, boys. Hope everybody's ready for 110 laps, 150 miles around Darlington. Barney the flagman with the green in hand.
Green flag.
It waves. We're underway. Field working off of turn number 4 to complete lap number 1. Neil Quick in command. Kevin McCann closes right to the back bumper of the 2 of Neil Quick out of turn number 2. The 3 of Brian McCann in the Earnhardt colors in there in the 3rd spot. 4th runs Chris Mefford. 5th runs Zach Millett. Millett all over the back bumper of Chris Mefford for position. Millett running the old Robbie Gordon singular wireless paint scheme. Millett's on a strategy here tonight, likely going to go for a stage win and try and salvage what he can point-wise. He's got to go to the rear at the stage. That is his win penalty for last week. Jeremy Paris closes in on Millett. Paris running his familiar, pretty plain, but number 24. Meanwhile, change for the lead out front. Kevin and Brian McCann have both taken over Neil Quick for the 2nd spot. Not too surprising, though. We've seen Neil Quick play this quite a bit. Just save the tires, especially at a place like Darlington. You hear the stories about guys in the past not even willing to roll the tires down pit lane for fear of taking a lap off of them. Very abrasive racing surface. Of course, it was repaved years ago. Still chews up tires nonetheless. Continuing to watch battles throughout the field. Mefford, Millett, and Paris. That's 4th, 5th, and 6th. Brian Rose just in behind in the number 89 Winn-Dixie colors. Another Mark Martin throwback. Oh, checking up here just a bit. Almost contact between Rose and Paris. Alfie Charon into the mixture here. He's closing in a couple of truck lengths off the back bumper of Brian Rose, and it's Mark Truxell. Also with a Mark Martin paint scheme. Talked to Mark a little bit pre-race. He says Mark has kind of influenced his driving within the sim. If you've been watching any of the No Bowl races here over the last season, or even previous seasons in SCAR, it's pretty evident. Mark's a clean racer, takes care of his equipment, usually there at the end. I don't think anybody's surprised by that. Still watching this battle, Chris Mefford, Zach Millett, Jeremy Paris. Probably the tightest battle on track right now. Become a 2-truck battle between Mefford and Millett, but now the battle between Paris and Rose in behind them. This will be for the 6th position. 9 laps on the board. So far, so good for everybody involved, but Rose really trying to work on the 24. Don't know if he's going to burn up his stuff trying to do it. He does let the 24 go just a bit out of turn number 2. You don't really want to be inside a guy there. Paris just swinging the back of that truck out. Tristan Sykes in the stream chat. I'm here in spirit. You know, of all the races you could run, Tristan, I think you would have been all over this with the throwback paint schemes. Tough break not having yourself and Fahey here. Kind of takes away a whole storyline. Sun still setting here at Darlington. Lights are on. You see battle for position once again. Mefford on the outside of Zach Millett. Millett trying to take it away here. This battle's been going on pretty much since the drop of the green flag. Mefford slides up the racetrack. Haley in our stream chat makes a very good point. So nice that the chat is active tonight. Wholeheartedly agree. Without Eric Dotson available tonight, it's always good to have you chatters involved. But this battle has shaped back up to a 4, 5, 6 truck battle. It was 4, then it was 2. Now it's more than that now. Mefford, Millett, Paris, and Rose. Tristan having computer issues still. Would be there if it wasn't for that. Tough break, man. That's what took him out last week. Put the truck on the pole position and didn't even make the green flag. The thing decided, you know what? It's time to stop. Top 3 unchanged. It's Kevin McCann, Brian McCann, then Neil Quick. This is the battle for the 4th position right now. Chris Mefford and Zach Millett fighting for it. And it looks like they might be reeling in Neil Quick here right now. Quick about 10, 15 truck lengths up ahead in the 3rd spot. Talked to Zach Millett pre-race. Said, watch out for these McCann brothers tonight. They are going to be fast. And, well, that prediction certainly coming true. 14 laps in, the two of them checking out on the rest of the field, putting some distance back to Neil Quick. It's about 4 seconds from Kevin back to Neil. Millett seems to be able to get the run to the inside out of turn 4, but can't complete the pass down into turn 1. I know architecturally the track is not anywhere near a place like Bristol Motor Speedway, but it almost seems to race kind of like Bristol. A little bit of wiggle for Millett on the way in. Don't know if there was contact from Paris. Millett gets into the back of the 46, just a touch on entry. Everybody gets away clean. But what just happened was what I was just about to talk about. Could be the case. Is the old bump and run. It is so tough to pass here. Kind of a one-groove track with the banking the way that it is, as narrow as it is in the corner. Of course, you've got all sorts of room down the straightaway as far as width is concerned, but it's really a lane and a half at best in the corners that you can take advantage of. You really got to set up a guy good. Jeremy Paris seems to have a pretty good amount of pace as well, though. He started to separate himself from Brian Rose just a bit. Truck length, maybe 2. You wonder if the 46 and the 315 are really the only roadblock that Paris has right now, because what we just said, so difficult to pass. You've got Millett and Mefford battling for position. If you're in behind both of these two and you want to get around, you almost have to try to find a way to pass them both at the same time, because getting around one's going to be hard enough. Stage break will be at lap 40, so we're approaching halfway through this first stage. Millett goes to the bottom, Paris goes to the top. Forced his way through. I don't know if Paris kind of got into him there, roughed Zach Millett up a bit. Either way, got it done. We talked about a lap or 2 ago, maybe 3 or 4, who knows at this point, but that might be the only way you're going to get any passes made here unless you've got a significant tire advantage. Kind of got to upset the truck in front of you. Get him out of shape, make him lift. Chris Elliott made some contact. He's got his Darlington stripe and then some. Completing his pit stop. Again, no fast repair in the No Bowl Racing Series, so I think he just came down and tried to get things fixed the best that he could. Rejoin the fight here. Switch here at the front of the field, though. Brian McCann has taken over the top spot and has already put a significant amount of daylight back to brother Kevin. 1.5 seconds back to P2, but it's 2.5 back to Neil Quick. Remember, it was greater than that before. Quick starting to chop into that. Now that might have been due to the pass between the two McCann brothers. It does kind of break your momentum, cuts into that lap time, but only 4 a lap. And we noted it right at the start. Neil Quick not really putting up too much of a fight for that top position. It's early on. You got to save your stuff, especially here. They've only got 2 sets of tires available to them over the wall, so they do need to strategize, conserve what they have, use the tires, most opportune opportunity. Of course, Neil running old Rusty Wallace throwback paint scheme on his truck. Billet right back to the bumper. The 24 of Jeremy Paris trying to repass him. Again, I think we're going to see in how Zach approaches this. Does he rough up the 24 to make that pass, or does he just let him go? That will kind of be the deciding factor, as if there was contact on the initial pass between these two. Little wiggle out of the 24. Down the backstretch, Millet gets to the inside. Little scrape of the wall for Paris. Millet goes to the bottom. He's going to repass the 24 of Paris. He could slide up here. Don't know if he will. Millet's got the pass done, and he does it cleanly. Back into the top 5. Chris Mefford is now up into the 4th spot, the number 46 truck. Also very quick at saving, very good at saving. Quick and good at saving. It's a good mixture. Pass for position up front here. Neil Quick caught and passed Kevin McCann very quickly. We checked just a few laps ago. It was under 3 seconds, but not by a whole lot. And Jeremy Paris in trouble. Already jumped to the pits, no caution. Let's try and get a look at it. Like Paris got the wall and then pulls it to the inside. He might just be giving up the ghost here. Let's try to get a look what caused this damage. Oh, might have been contact as he gets in the wall by himself. Oh yeah, big chunk of the wall on corner exit. Ryan Rose comes up to the inside, tries to go around, gets a piece of him. Laps in here. We're going to jump out and get an HBR TV side-by-side break out of the way before the stage closes. Stay with us. You won't miss a minute of the action. We'll be back. after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Darlington Raceway, 35 laps in of 110 here. The No Bull Racing Series, South Carolina 150, closing in on the end of the stage. Some drivers opting to pit right now, Kevin McCann being one of them. In fact, Kevin just jumped to pit lane. He might be out of this. Don't know what the situation is there. I might have to just rewind this. Looks like Kevin gets into the wall. Well, a bit of a pancake on the right side. Kevin dives it down. Looks like he's just going to call it a night, I believe. Tough break for the 42. Had a lot of pace here early on at Darlington. Again, stage will end at the completion of lap 40. Noah Rainwater, Matt Goodell battling for position. This would be for the final spot within the top 10. That points paying position, very important late in this stage. Eric Beadle in the 119 Sunoco machine. Running back in the 18th spot, up 6 positions. Again, Eric more of a dirt guy than anything else, trying his hand at asphalt. Brian McCann starting to close in on Beetle here. Might put him a lap down here as the caution will be coming out in just a couple of laps to end the stage. It's going to be the case as McCann gets to the inside. Beetle goes topside. Now the thing here is Beetle's just got to stay in position ahead of the 80. That's Drew Prell. If he can stay there, he'd get the lucky dog. That would be the battle for that wave around when the caution comes out. Final lap of the stage. Brian McCann through turns 1 and 2. Watching this battle, this is for the lucky dog position. Beetle can just hold off the 80. Just a couple more quarters. Brian McCann's going to win the stage. Eric Beetle's going to win the lucky dog. So Brian McCann, your stage winner. Caution on the speedway. So, it's pit stop time. There's no strategy involved here at this point. Everybody and their brother is going to take 4 tires. I cannot see anyone not doing it, just given the fact that you're going to go a lap down if you don't. Field checking up on the backstretch. Pace car brings him into turn 3. McCann had a pretty healthy lead over second place Neil Quick at the time of the stage. That all goes away. Some more opportunities here for some fresh tires. See how it goes down. Brian McCann brings the field down pit lane. Zach Millett stays on track. This is interesting. Big time gamble for Millett. I don't know if I like this. That first stage was very, very cleanly run. Brian McCann into the pit box. So he's going to go 4 tires and fuel. I don't know. Millett, I think, finished 5th in the stage. I don't know. It's a gamble. It's a big, big gamble. He's got to hope a caution comes out in the next 15 laps under green. Otherwise, this kind of doesn't help him. Well, it is what it is. So here we go. We've got Brian McCann completing his pit stop. Let's pull him into the HPR TV broadcast booth and get a word with our Stage 1 winner. Brian, it's Steve in the booth. You got us?
Gotcha.
A dominant performance here in Stage 1. Pretty clean for everybody all involved. No cautions to speak of. What's the strategy here for the balance of the race?
Yeah, unfortunately, Kevin got into the wall on that one and messed his truck up. And I'm not sure what happened to him, but he dropped out of the race. I was just trying to save my tires, and oh my goodness, around about lap 15 or 20, they really started to go out. And so I was struggling, and I think everybody else was struggling too. So it's really tire saving.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to see how the rest of this one goes. Certainly a clean first stage, hoping for a clean stage 2. We had some guys opt to stay on the racetrack during this stage, but have now decided to come down pit lane. You think they maybe thought better of not coming out with some fresh tires?
Yeah, that's going to be tough if they didn't take tires, so we'll have to see what happens.
We'll see how it plays out. Brian, good luck the rest of the way, man. We'll dump you back in the IROC chat.
Thank you.
It's your stage winner here at Darlington. You can hear as we were talking to him, he's definitely locked in concentration mode, trying to save fuel already. You can hear him clutching the truck. Still under caution, though, finishing out the stage. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
And it looks like Millett might have won this. He did by 2/100ths of a second over Brandon. That S4 guy off turn 4 for the final time sees the checkered flag. It waves. It belongs to the 315. Back at Darlington Raceway, stage 2 about to begin. Our final stage of the race. 70 laps total. Going to be lap 45 when we cross the stripe. Pace car is in. Marty the flagman with the green in hand, waiting on the field.
Green flag.
McCann leads them back to the stripe, continuing his dominating performance here tonight. Did make mention again about Kevin McCann getting into the outside wall, exiting this race. Going to be a tough night for Kevin McCann. He's going to finish at least 21st, I believe. Spinner out of 2, gathers it back up. Mentioned Eddie Rose coming down pit lane here. Not sure if this is a penalty-related incident or if he's got some damage he needs to repair. Eddie working with the Ford Credit number 88, the old Dale Jarrett paint scheme. He's going to take tires here. I don't know if that's intended or if he didn't take them during the caution. Nonetheless, a big blow here for Eddie Rose. Brian McCann a healthy lead already over the 2 of Neil Quick. It's a half-second advantage. Chris Mefford runs P3. Brian Rose up into the top 5. Been talking to Brian Rose a lot this week about Darlington Raceway. Some have a love-hate relationship with some places. It is all hate for Brian Rose when it comes to Darlington. It's interesting, though. He won a Superior Class auto racing event. I think it was at New Hampshire, saying the same thing all week long. Absolutely despised the track, hate this place, should burn it down. He ended up winning the thing. Let's check on Zach Millett here. He runs back in the 15th spot, which all things considered not too terrible. He did opt for tires, though he did it on the second round through. So I'm pretty sure he had to go to the back of the pack for that. If you don't pit the first time through, I think you get the penalty for it. Not sure if he just decided last minute to say, you know, I don't like this idea. Nobody else did it. I better come down, take my penalty, and pit. So still one set of tires on pit lane for Zach Millett remain. So let's take a moment. Let's try to cycle through the field, get a look at everybody's paint schemes here. course, Brian McCann typically drives the 3 anyway, but it's usually a Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am. But now we've got the throwback Dale Senior Goodwrench Service Plus colors out front at Darlington. Takes you back, doesn't it? And even more so, Neil Quick running in the second spot in the old Rusty Wallace throwback, the Miller Genuine Draft number 2. I don't know why it's not presenting properly at the bottom, but it looks good on the track. That's all that matters. Neil's running second. Chris Mefford, not a throwback that you might recognize, but it's a throwback for his racing history. Brian Rose, of course, the Mark Martin throwback scheme with the Busch Series, the Winn-Dixie colors of Mark Martin, running in the 4th position. Mark Thomas running in 5th. No throwback for the 50. Mark Truxell, another Mark Martin scheme. Just throwing it back to Mark Martin's time at Rick Hendrick Motorsports. Matt Goodell, number 85, Nitro Performance, Bass Pro Shops F-150. Runs in the 7th position. Joe Tucker close behind. The Geico, number 13. I think that's a Casey Mears throwback, if I remember correctly. Brandon Mefford, number 83, Zoe's Place Machine. I think this is more of an Alan Kowicki style throwback. That's what I'm going with. The old Hooters livery. Brian Torsha, typical weekly colors. Jesse Redding in the Sitco colors. This could be a Dale Jarrett, a Michael Waltrip, however you want to skin that cat. Either way, it looks good with the Wood Brothers scheme on it. Zach Millett, of course, in the Singular Wireless. Robbie Gordon, Richard Childress colors. Takes a spot from Jesse. Alfie Charon running the, I think this was Landon Castle, the Dr. Pepper paint scheme with the Cup Series. Noah Rainwater with Ron Hornaday Jr. colors. One of my favorite trucks out there. Certainly looks good. Brings me back to the mid to late 90s, and Hornaday was winning a ton of those races and championships. Chris Goins, number 28, Texaco Haviland F-150. A little bit of right front damage, right side damage on that machine. Runs in the 15th spot. Doug Wysocki throwing it way back. Got the Alka-Seltzer colors of Jimmy Means on that machine. I remember a race at Watkins Glen in 1991. Of course, that race J.D. McDuffie lost his life into the carousel corner at the Glen, but Jimmy Means was also involved in that same paint scheme. Very familiar colors, at least for me. Of course, Eric Beadle running the Terry Labonte throwback colors, the Sunoco Ultra 94. Ultra 119. We got some big time octane in that truck. Drew Prale. He's got OxyGreen Solutions on that machine. Not really a throwback, but a whole bunch of sponsors that have helped us out here in the Noble Racing League this season. Eddie Rose, again, we saw him earlier with the Dale Jarrett throwback. Matt Kopp was also running a Motorcraft Wood Brothers throwback. I think that might have been a Trevor Bain scheme. He's off the track. Chris Elliott in the pits with the Kevin Harvick. Kevin McCann, we talked about, he is gone. Jeremy Paris is gone. Carson Conway was running the Red Dog number 72. He is unfortunately out of this one as well. So 5 laps past halfway, Brian McCann has just set sail. 1.1 seconds back to the 2 of Neil Quick. A lot of times tracks like Darlington, so difficult, very challenging. You can chew up your stuff, beat on the equipment, it eats tires. Many times it's just about survival, as I think Brian McCann may have actually scraped the wall just a bit. I'll tell you, if he did, he didn't even peel any decals off of it. We saw some sparks flying up ahead of Neil Quick. Didn't cost him any time though. McCann still starting to stretch it out even further over Quick. Interestingly enough, these top 3 drivers, McCann, Quick, and Chris Mefford, I'll come over to the Noble Racing Series from IROC. Some fast guys over there too. They come over here and play with us as well. It's always appreciated. I'll tell you though, the top three certainly fast here at Darlington tonight. Brian Rose, though, knocking on the back door of the 46. Let's go on board with Brian. Brian not gaining or losing really here. He's really maintained that distance between himself and Mefford. It's usually a truck length to 3. A little bit more here at this point, 4 or 5 between Mefford and Rose. Rose has got Mark Thomas closing in. Mark Thomas running that 50 truck in the 5th position, having a strong run tonight. Qualified decent as well into P11. Brandon Mefford runs in the 7th spot, started 14th. Back to Noah Rainwater, though. Trying to make a pass on Brian Torsha here. Torch might have got into the fence just a bit on corner entry. Still manages to maintain the position ahead of Rainwater. Noah drives back in, tries to get alongside. He's going to cross it over. Maybe not, maybe yes. Left, right, left. Pick a lane, buddy. Goes to the inside. Torch up the racetrack. Are they going to bang doors? Nope, they get through. Rainwater's going to take the spot. So's the 28 of Chris Gones. Or is he? Oh, contact between the 28 and Brian Torsha. That's off of turn 2, down the backstretch. Wysocki's coming into the picture, so is the 21. Great battling here in the mid-pack. That was all for about the 12th position. Torch up the racetrack again, almost contact with Chris Gones again. Chris gets on by. Continues to work towards the front. Now Jesse Redding is next to try and pass. We'll see if Jesse can pull it off. Takes a look. Rainwater gets a piece of the wall again. That really is the line. You want to get that truck as close to the safer barrier as you possibly can without hitting it. Maximize your speed. Wysocki a little bit slow out of 4. Beetle dives it down to the inside to avoid contact. Haley in the stream chat says, hit that thumbs up, everyone. Absolutely, everybody. Please, if you haven't already done so, if you're in here watching the stream, there's at least 17 of you. Hit that like button. It's easy to do with your phone, your mouse, whatever you got to do. Just click it. Certainly helps the broadcast, pushes it to some extra eyeballs that wouldn't usually get to see it. We certainly do appreciate it. Doug Wysocki, I heard something in the background. It's the 34 truck making contact. He gets into the fence. Doug is definitely off pace at this point. I think the left front's the only straight corner on that truck right now. Maybe a little bit of the left rear. No, that's kind of bent out of shape too. Again, no fast repair here in the Noble Racing Series, so he's going to have to live with it for now. Jesse Redding runs in the 14th spot. Brian Rose still hanging in that 4th position. He's got Mark Thomas still out the back door and getting a little closer each lap. 3 to 4 truck lengths between the 89 and the 50. Ryan McCann still in command. 1.6 seconds back to Neil Quick. There's your top three, McCann, Quick, and Chris Mefford. Still the battle on the racetrack for the fourth position between Brian Rose and Mark Thomas. Give a call to Zach Millett here again. I don't know if he made a mistake on pit strategy coming in the second lap under that yellow for the stage, but he has worked his way up into the 7th spot, still with one set of tires over the wall. We've got 36 laps to go, roughly. See if he can make his way towards the front. I don't think he's gotten the opportunity to lead a lap yet tonight, which is quite rare for a driver like Millett. Again, the winner from last week. Of course, remember, Millett did need to go to the rear regardless to start the stage based on the wind penalty. So I guess no harm, no foul as far as when he opted to hit the pit lane. A little bit of extra fuel on that truck to do that. Brian Rose starting to stretch it out over Mark Thomas. "33 laps into this run. Fuel is going to get close here in about 10-12 laps. You'll start seeing guys needing to hit pit lane, I believe. I think the fuel run is about 45 laps, maybe 44. Brian McCann still stretching out his lead over Neil Quick. Zach Millett in the pit lane. Likely to be his last stop of the night. Trying the undercut here to gain some track position. Millett down and away, 14.87 seconds. 4 tires and fuel for the 315. He's going to be fast for a little bit. We'll see how much advantage he can take to that. Ryan McCann down the front stretch. Mark Thomas peels off. He hits pit lane. Kind of what we expected here. Guys were going to start coming down to get their final stop out of the way. I'm surprised that guys are taking the opportunity to come now. You almost might want to stretch it as long as you can, especially for the chance that, all right, if I go to the end of my fuel run and the caution comes out, all right, we can get by. We can get by with that. But these guys that are still on track, they stay out. Others have pit. Then the caution comes out. Well, first they could get trapped a lap down. You guys got Doug Wysocki and Zach Millett. They're not on the lead lap right now. Then everybody else gets the opportunity to pit under yellow. Mark Truxell down pit lane. Joe Tucker as well. Sharon also down pit lane, the number 51 machine. McCann and Quick and Mefford, the top 3, still on the racetrack. Brian Rose, Matt Goodell, the top 5. 25 laps to go from Darlington. Brian McCann still running that Larson line out of turn 4. Chris Goins, Jesse Redding, Brandon Mefford hit the pit lane. Noah Rainwater down pit lane for his final stop of the afternoon. 23 laps to go. Brian Rose down pit lane for his final stop. Currently top 3 stay on the racetrack. Brian McCann, Neil Quick, Chris Mefford. Brian comes in here tonight second in points. Now Brian McCann down the pit lane. It's going to be 22 laps to go when he breaks the line. Brian McCann cleanly into the pit box. Right side goes in the air. Neil Quick for a moment is ahead of him. See how long this is going to last. Tires need to get changed out here. Green flag pit stops with 22 laps to go. McCann is down. Quick just now dropping the jack. Good stop. 14:53 for Neil Quick. 14:68 for Brian McCann. Meanwhile, your new leader, Matt Goodell, still has yet to make his final pit stop. So he's opting right now to make that stop. Chris Mefford in the pits. Zach Millett, current race leader or about to be. Matt Goodell peels off into pit lane. So here is the dilemma. Millett's going to be set up for a decent finish here, but Ryan McCann is coming with a head of steam. He is just about 3-4 truck lengths behind Millett, though there is the 21 of Jesse Redding in between. But Brian just finished his stop a few laps ago at lap 88. Millett pit lap 79. That is a huge difference as far as tires are concerned. Yes, it is very difficult to make passes here at Darlington. Yes, Millett is quick. Brian is quick. But he's going to still have to find a way around, and I don't think it's going to be too much of a challenge here given the tire advantage that the 3 has. Good run out of turn number 4. He's already to the inside of Millett. Millett doesn't put up much of a fight. I think he's just in survival mode, trying to lock in as many points as he can here this afternoon. Got 19 laps to go. I will say this, though. Millett is a pretty significant disadvantage given the tire life that he has on his truck right now. McCann pitted 88, Millett 79. Neil Quick was 4.5 seconds back, pitted lap 88. Mark Truxell in 4th, he pitted lap 83, so we're getting a little bit closer, only a handful of laps there. Mark Thomas was 82. Brian Rose 87, Chris Mefford 89, Brandon Mefford 86. Alfie Charon was 84, and Matt Goodell was lap 90. Freshest tires in the top 10 is Matt Goodell, last one to make his stop. If we go green to the end, that could be a big advantage for the 85. Now, if a caution comes out, changes up a lot of things. It kind of gets everybody packed back up. We've been pretty much caution-free. We've had one yellow, and that is strictly for the stage break. With 17 to go, I can already say bravo, gentlemen. Nicely done. I know it's not over yet, but it can't be that bad with, well, knock on wood. I won't even say it. I'm not even going to say it. Brian Rose still maintains the top 5 for now. Chris Mefford closing in. Couple lap fresher tires than the 89 machine. Haley in the stream chat saying goodnight. Thanks for chiming in, Haley. We do appreciate it. Just like that, Brian Rose takes the spot from Mark Truxell. Truxell pit lap 83, Rose lap 87. So 5 lap newer tires for Brian. Made that one an easy decision. Didn't want to fight too hard for it. 46 of Mefford, same thing. Gets to the inside of Truxell into turn 3. Take long up front. Ryan McCann way out in front. Takes the spot from Zach Millett. 2.9 seconds the advantage back to the 315. Still about 2 seconds between Millett and Quick as the laps continue to wind down. Quick trying to make short work of some lap traffic. 80 machine goes up the racetrack. That's Drew Prell, gets a piece of the wall. Noah Rainwater, the 05 Napa machine in behind Neil Quick. Noah running in the 14th position. 1 lap down. 12 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take our final HBR TV side-by-side break right now. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Darlington Raceway, waning laps here at the Speedway. Less than 8 laps to go. Millett and Quick have swapped positions. So now your top three, it's Brian McCann, Neil Quick, Zach Millett. Further down, Chris Mefford, and then Brian Rose. That's your top 5. Then it's Mark Truxell, Mark Thomas, Brandon Mefford, Alfie Sharon, and Matt Goodell, the top 10. Then it's Chris Cones, Joe Tucker to round out the lead lap trucks. Jesse Redding, the first truck, 1 lap down. No sooner than I say that, Chris Goins now the first truck 1 lap down. If the caution were to come out, he would be the lucky dog, get 1 lap back. But again, caution free for the most part with the exception of the stage. Brian McCann has been on fire tonight, not literally. Putting on a clinic here at Darlington Raceway. Still running laps within 1 full second of his fastest of the night. Here, lap 105. Remember, they pit at lap 88. Somehow, McCann able to find pace in that truck, even on worn tires. Real quick, 5.4 seconds back in second. Then it's Zach Millett, 7.8. Chris Mefford, though, closing in fast. Mefford's got fresher tires than Zach. His pit stop was lap 89, so 10 lap fresher tires on the 46 of Chris Mefford as he closes in on the 315. Less than 4 laps to go. It's going to be close. It's going to be real close, real quick. Chris Mefford closing in fast. Big run out of turn 4. It's going to get to the inside of Millett here. Just like that with ease. Chris Mefford up into P3. Millett back to 4th. Brian Rose, the next competitor there in the 5th position to challenge Millett, but he is a ways back. Not likely to be a factor here with just 2 laps to go. Brian McCann down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. We'll look for a white flag. Dominating performance this afternoon for Brian McCann. He started in the 3rd spot, quickly got to the front. Brother Kevin McCann having issues early on. Going to finish this one out in the 22nd spot, but Brian down the back straightaway, half a lap to go to lock home yet another win here in the Noble Bowl Racing Series. He's got to get through turns 3 and 4. He does it. On to turn 4. Brian McCann wins the South Carolina 150. Final race of the regular season. Neil Quick is going to finish in P2. Chris Meffer, 3rd. Zach Millett battling back to finish P4. Ryan Rose, top 5 in the 5th spot. Brian McCann, your race winner in the Dale Earnhardt Goodwrench Service Plus colors. As always, Brian McCann just burning it down. It's a 1-2-3 finish for the IROC guys. Certainly an impressive run. We're going to jump out and get our final break out of the way. Hopefully have our top 3 for interviews after this. Stay with us.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Darlington Raceway, the South Carolina 150 is complete. Brian McCann, your race winner in dominating fashion. Let's pull him up into the broadcast booth and get a word with our winner. Brian McCann in that 3 truck, you made it look good. You did it proud. You took home a checkered flag, man. Congratulations. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, I was very surprised. Green flag the entire time. We were talking before the race, and like pit strategy and everything. We were anticipating cautions, but yeah, I'm proud of everybody coming out here caution free. That's amazing. A lot of good drivers in here. Just saving tires and getting on the pit and off the pit real quick. That helped out, and Neil had a good run, and I think it was IROC top 3, right? Chris Mefford, yep. So yeah, just amazing race.
McCann, Quick, and Mefford getting it done. We talked about it mid-race, how you IROC boys come over here, and man, you put us to shame sometimes. Really cool to see. Glad you guys are here, certainly. But man, would you just stop winning already?
Well, now the playoffs, right? So I got to go out and give my all there. So we'll have to see.
So speaking of playoffs, we obviously get Easter off next week, so no bull racing. But when we do come back, we're going dirt racing at Eldora. That's going to start things off with a bang. What are your thoughts going into Eldora?
I'm not good on dirt. I can kind of manage it, but there's a lot of people that can outrun me, including my brother and some other people I know. So this is probably not going to be my race, but just try to do that one clean.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to it again. You've had a great season. I think this is your 5th win?
Yes.
5 wins on the season. Congratulations, Brian. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
My family, my wife, everybody watching tonight, you guys for doing the broadcast, the league admins put in a lot of time on this league. I'd like to thank them, and all the drivers out here, man. This is a good league to be in. I love it. And yeah, thank you.
All right, Brian. Well, again, good luck in a couple of weeks, and happy Easter, man.
You too.
It's Brian McCann, your race winner here at Darlington. Next, it's going to be the Miller Genuine Draft number 2 of Neil Quick. Neil Quick, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got us?
Yeah, Steve, got you, man.
Neil, congratulations on a P2 finish here at Darlington. Again, we went green to checker without any incidents. Obviously, we had our yellow for our stage, but walk us through your race. I mean, was there any part of your mind that thought this was going to go green most of the way?
No, we were talking to practice, and it was slim to absolutely not, if you know what I mean.
Right.
We didn't see this coming at all. It just shows how great everybody in the league is, and the drivers in this league. It's pretty top notch, and to be able to go out there and run Darlington with as many drivers as we do without a caution, that's pretty impressive.
Well, on top of all that, the 3 and the 2 with throwback paint schemes finishing 1 and 2. That was kind of cool to see. Obviously, Brian McCann with the Dale Earnhardt colors, yourself with the Rusty Wallace scheme. What's the reasoning behind picking this paint scheme tonight?
Just like in Brian's case, I know Senior was his hero, and growing up in St. Louis, Rusty was my hero. So it was awesome. And in the famous words of Rusty, I had a great hot rod tonight, and I think I'm going to have a cold one now. So it was a fun race. I mean, just outstanding competition, and just great seeing all these throwback paint schemes and chasing that 3 tonight, man. It just felt like I was back in 1993 watching races, so it was interesting.
Definitely put a lot of smiles on a lot of faces here tonight. Again, congratulations. A nice job on the second place finish here tonight. Couple of weeks, of course, we got next week off for the holiday. Going into Eldora, dirt racing with these trucks. How do you feel about that?
I love the dirt. Really looking forward to Eldora and being in the playoffs. I think it's going to be a great race for me to start with. Hopefully try to shake this monkey that's been on my back in a couple of the leagues I've been running. Just had some tough finishes, and now starting to string together some top 3. So pretty excited, catching fire at the right time.
Competition makes everybody better. It's good to see. Neil, again, congratulations on P2. We're going to let you go. Who do you want to shout out to before we do?
Everybody in the league, the admin, everybody that puts the league on over here is just wonderful. They do great promotion. All the sponsors that make it happen. You guys in the booth, Steve, and of course, family, allowing me the time to do this and be here to be able to race on Sunday nights.
Well, again, thanks for talking to us. Have a good holiday, Neil.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
It's Neil Quick, your second place finisher. Last but not least, not even last, finishes P3 tonight. It's Chris Mefford. We'll pull him up into the HBR TV broadcast booth. Chris, it's Steve in the booth. You got us?
I got you. How you doing?
We're doing good, sir. Congratulations on a solid top 3 finish tonight here at Darlington. Of course, we went green to checker without, well, we had the one caution for the stage. We can't count that one, but a very long run here at the end to close this thing out. Walk us through any thoughts and strategies that you had coming in and how they may have changed given that long run at the end.
Not really much changed there. I'll work on a couple long runs there under practice because I knew this does have a tendency to go, long green flags, and plus, only having 2 extra sets of tires in the pits, you were looking to save your tires. So that was emphasis number 1. Number 2 was try to save tires, but also not trying to get past. It was just so tough to pass here without actually, trying to dive bomb somebody. So definitely tough. Obviously Neil and Brian had it figured out.
Of course, we're off next week for the holiday. We've said that with just about everybody, but we want to make sure everybody knows, yes, Easter Sunday next weekend, no racing here at Knoll Bull, but in 2 weeks, we do go to Eldora. So racing trucks on the dirt, that's a different thing to do. I know Neil Quick is excited about it. How do you feel about it?
I hope the server crashes and we don't race it in 2 weeks.
Well, that answers that. Will you be there at least?
I will be there. I probably would have rather ran Bristol dirt just because it's a little more banking, a little more forgiving in my eyes. I've just never really had a hold of Eldora with these trucks or anything really. I don't race a lot of dirt anyway. So Bristol was fun. We raced it a couple weeks ago. I finished 4th, which was actually really surprising for me. But it's just so much banking there. Eldora is definitely a different animal. You're going to see them dirt guys really stick out.
Certainly looking forward to it either way. Again, Chris, congratulations. A solid run here tonight, finishing P3. Happy holiday and good luck in a couple of weeks.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it.
Anyone you want to shout out to before we kick you out of here?
Yeah, shout out to Cop True Designs for designing the truck. So the truck I was racing tonight is a throwback to my dad's mini stock days back in the late 90s. So it's always cool to do a throwback, and then I always race a lot of my dad's schemes. So obviously he's my hero growing up. Always will be. Shout out to all my Falcon or my Charity Motorsports teammates. Doug Brannon, Matt. Matt had incidents. Everybody had incidents tonight. Luckily I kind of escaped. Congrats to Brian and Neil on their finishes. They said they was wicked fast. Thank you, Steve, for the broadcast. I don't know if I said that or not. Thanks for all the admins for putting up with us and all of our sponsors. Race O'Reilly. I actually got to look here for a second. Race O'Reilly, Liquid Fin Project, Zoe's Place, Ellie's Place, and Mission 22. We race a lot of causes here for our team, and it always makes us feel a little better to do so.
Always a good opportunity to get them out here on the broadcast. Certainly a good cause. Again, congratulations, Chris, and good luck in a couple of weeks, man.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
It's Chris Mefford, your 3rd place finisher here at Darlington Raceway. It's going to wrap up the interview portion of our broadcast. Let's go down and take a look at our race results. Of course, we talked to Brian McCann, Neil Quick, and Chris Mefford. 4th place, Zach Millett working a little bit of strategy to fight his way up. Really, I think his benefit there is just getting into pit lane. He utilizes every last inch getting into that pit road speed limit area where he has to be slowed down. Gained a lot of time there. Also pit before everybody else. I think the highest finisher on old tires, the older tires, was Zach Millett. Brian Rose, a solid finish as well in the top 5. Mark Truxell, another great finish for the 5 of Mark Truxell. Again, he started in the 10th spot, worked his way up into P6. Did that Mark Martin paint scheme proud, as did Brian Rose. Mark Thomas was 7th. Brandon Mefford, P8. Matt Goodell was 9th. Alfie Charon brings the 51 machine home, P10. Chris Goins was 11th. Joe Tucker was 12th. 13th finisher went to Jesse Redding. Noah Rainwater in the Napa Auto Parts machine was 14th. Brian Torsha, 15th. Eric Beadle brought it home into 16th position for that Sunoco Ultra machine. Doug Wysocki was 17th. Maybe taking a little Alka-Seltzer after this one. Drew Prale was 18th. Eddie Rose in the Ford Quality Care was 19th. Matt Kopp, 20th. Chris Elliott, the Wood Brothers, number 21. Sorry, that wasn't the Wood Brothers. That was the Kevin Harvick paint scheme. Chris Elliott, 21st. Kevin McCann finished in the 22nd spot after some contact with the outside wall. Jeremy Paris, very similar situation, was out early in 23rd. And Carson Conway out very early, 93 laps down in that Red Dog machine. 24th the credited position for Conway. It's your race result here at the South Carolina 150. Thank you guys all for tuning in tonight. If you haven't already checked out our website, there's not a whole lot to it. I haven't played with it at all, actually, but it's got our logo. It's got some hot links for some social media. HBRTV1.com. Check it out, and please hop on those social medias. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Turn on the notifications. I mean, that's the only way you're going to know what's going on here, unless you're paying attention constantly, which, I don't know, most people these days, they got their nose in the phone all the time anyway. But turn them on, man. It'll help in case you're busy, you forget, you want to watch the race. You get that little red dot notification on your phone, and you know to tune in to HBR TV each week. It's going to wrap it up for me. I'm Steve Singer, congratulating Brian McCann for winning tonight's South Carolina 150. Join us in 2 weeks for the start of the playoffs on the dirt in Eldora. Have a good night, everybody.